Superman and Spider-Man movies could very possibly happen. No, this guys isn't clickbait. This is real. In a Rolling Stone interview, James Gunn talked about doing a Superman Spider-Man crossover. We have a lot to talk about on this, and I want to start why this started. He was doing a Rolling Stone interview. He had a Superman Spider-Man comic book on his table, which kind of sparked the question about it. And the first thing he said was, "We've talked about it a billion times." So they're actually they're talking about this. You know, they're talking about how can we get Superman and Spider-Man together. But then he also said, maybe it's 10 years from now. Maybe it's 10 years from now. Not, no, we're not going to do it, or it's unlikely, or something like that. He's like, if we do it, it's probably 10 years from now. So I need to know in the comments, first of all, do you guys even want to see Superman and Spider-Man together? Do you think that's just going to be some sort of, trying to get people to go to the movies, or do you think it'll be like some sort of, something we just shouldn't even do? Now, remember, like I said, there's already a comic on it, famous, I think it's from the 70s, Superman and Spider-Man, which I actually had a chance to buy once and didn't take the chance. Might be tearing up for real. And that was a Superman Spider-Man versus. Now, obviously, even in that comic, the versus, that doesn't work, okay? So, Superman, I think in that comic, ultimately, beat out Spider-Man because he's stronger. He just is. He's way more powerful, especially in the 70s. He would have been more powerful than the 70s Spider-Man for sure. And, it's one of those things that if you were to do it, it wouldn't, a versus wouldn't make as much sense. He also went on to say, and I'm getting this from Superhero Hype, by the way. It's a Rolling Stone interview, but they're the ones that, brought this down easy for me. He said it could easily happen. Could easily happen. Maybe 10 years from now. Talked about it a billion times. This sounds like something he's really thinking about. I would like to know, do you guys think this is something that he should focus on? Something he should do? Do you think it would be... The more I read, the more I'm going to tell you, it's just going to give you give me more confidence. It might not give you more confidence, but it gives me more confidence that if he does it, it will be done right. He goes on to say, just having Spider-Man and Superman team up isn't going to do it if it's explicative word. I'm going to say crap. In other words, he says it has to come from a real place, not just be a cash grab. In other words, he's saying, I'm not going to do this unless it works. I'm not going to do this unless this is something that is going to fit within our universe and is going to make sense. He's not just looking to just do it for the sake of doing it. He wants to be done right. Or at least he's saying, I know some of y'all are probably going to hate Gunn and, not believe anything he says for whatever reason. But he goes on to say, if I were to write a Superman versus Spider-Man movie, he used the word versus here, even though he said team up before. Am I doing it because, oh yeah, people want to see Superman and Spider-Man team up? For me, it would have to be done under someone who thought it was going to be awesome. That's really important. I'm a professional artist. I sculpt miniatures for games, kind of like Dungeons & Dragons, not those companies specifically, but like, tabletop role-playing games. One of the things the art directors do is whenever they commission from an artist, they want to make sure that they're passionate about it. Like if you had a horse you wanted sculpted, you're not going to get somebody who hates horses to do it. You're going to get somebody who's got like horse posters on their wall and all that kind of stuff to do that. So it's very comforting to me knowing that he is going to pick someone that is like, yeah, I want this to happen, and I think it's going to be the best thing ever. Like somebody who's passionate about it, that makes sense. Like I probably shouldn't do a channel on Thor, you know what I mean? Like or Batman. I should do a Superman channel. Clearly, I have a bias. So I need to know from you guys though, like we technically have, give me a little leeway on this. We have 3 active Spider-Men. It wasn't long ago that we saw all Spider-Men of recent years on the big screen. Would you like to see Tom Holland against David Cornsweet? Or not against or for, whatever. Would you like to see David Cornsweet with Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield? How would you like to see that play out? And to go further into fantasy, do you think we missed our chance? Would it have been better to have had, Henry with Tobey or to have had, Christopher Reeve with that weird 70s Spider-Man movie that people act like doesn't exist? What would you think would be the ideal Superman Spider-Man situation. And if your ideal is just don't do it, well, you can put that in the comments too. And I do, guys, read the comments. You should know that because I respond to a very large amount of them. And it doesn't give me notifications for like comment replies, but it tells me every time there's a base comment. So if there's a base comment on there, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to reply to it unless something got lost or weirdly deleted by the algorithm, which happens unfortunately all the time. And I just need to know what you guys think. It excites me, just like the idea of a new Superman movie always excites me because, yes, it can be done wrong, but we can have hope until we see that it was. That's just kind of the way I've always been. I'd rather have hope and be excited and then be let down than to just never have hope and always be down. I'm a positive person, so that's kind of my mentality on that. But this is a brand new Superman channel. If you haven't been here before, thanks for coming by. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I talk about Superman all the time. And the best thing you can do is probably watch one of these videos because I got plenty of them. And if you want to hear more about Superman on this channel, you're gonna.